Hey there, neighbors and naysayers. June 15th, 2024. I wasn't really planning on taking a video today, but I thought maybe I ought to mark it. Or June, yeah, July 15th. I wish it were June, although if it was this dry in June, we'd really be in hurting. July 15th, 2024, and this is our last section of tall grass other than what's right here across the fence. That is the barnyard headquarters. We'll graze that this weekend. The reason we'll graze it this weekend is because not this black steer, but some of these black calves out in here probably are coming in on Saturday morning and getting peeled off of the crew. And I hope the wind's not getting me today, but it's what you do when it gets dry. Start reducing your intake, reducing your need, and we had hoped to grow in beef sales to our entire herd this year, but it ain't gonna. It's just probably not gonna happen. I said 2 weeks ago when we started talking about what we were going to do with this drought, that we'd go for a week or two more and then we'd make a decision, but it's looking like that's going to have to be the decision. We've got a couple out here that need to go anyway, and then we'll peel off the black ones because the black ones will bring more money at the sale barn versus the reds. And then you go to the red baldies and leave the Herefords behind. Nobody cares what color they were when they're in a package, and that's the business we're in, so that's what we'll do. Just thought I needed to document. July 15th, probably the earliest I've ever been to our last tall grass paddock. It's for several reasons. One, because it's really dry, and two, because we kept all the calves. We'd have been here days ago, a week ago probably, had we had the cows still out. Cows are on hay, sheep are on hay, and it's really darn dry. I saw the other day that as of July 8th we were -4 inches for the month of June 1st to July 8th. And that's just where the weather's reported. Here where we're at in this microclimate, I would say we're closer to 6 inches below normal, which those of you that are in the western states are saying, so what? Here, you know, our rainfall average is 36 inches. We've had years where we've had 60 inches of rainfall, and this year's stacking up to be 18. So that's a heck of a difference. You know, it's a heck of a difference for us. Are we still growing? Yeah, we still got some grass here and there. It's growing pretty well. I don't know how long that's going to take us. Hopefully long enough to get these fat steers still on grass until we get some rain. We do have rain in the forecast tonight, rain in the forecast tomorrow, rain in the forecast Wednesday. It's stacking up about 60% chance, so that's sounding better all the time. We'll see whether it actually gets here, whether it passes us by. The good part about this is Dad's able to get a bunch of hay mowed, and quality's not great. Quantity's about normal because this is about the time it would have shut off anyway. So it's looking like we might get time this fall yet. We'll have to rent a skid loader and an auger, but might build some fence this fall because we got nothing else really going. I'm kind of lost. I'm used to moving at least 2 groups, and by this time of year they'd all be in one group anyway, but I've got this one small group of animals to move, and then got to find something to do with myself the rest of the day, which is typically walking 4-H pigs or walking Ethan's calf or doing something to get ready for the fairs that are coming up here in the next 2 weeks. So it's not that I don't have anything to do, it's just it's kind of feeling lost. And I guess it's not a feeling I'm not used to. I just realized here in the last 2 or 3 weeks, with the boys going to their moms every 2 or 3 days, you know, I find myself wandering around after they leave, and I finally asked myself, what are you doing? Well, you're wandering around looking for the kids, and so the days that the boys aren't here, when all I got is this one group to move and go check the cows for calves, which we're up to a quarter of the herd is calved so far. After that, it's find something to keep yourself busy, find something to do. So Still got to check chickens tonight, and still got to feed the guard dogs and check on the sheep, but makes my nights go by a little quicker. It sometimes gets me thinking maybe I'd be better off if this is what I just did, this, but I wouldn't know what to do with myself to keep busy if I didn't have all the other things. And times like this, we turn to the hogs, you know. It's almost time to breed sows for show litters, and so I spend my time focusing on that and not focus on this drought. I know what my next steps are, and I guess that might be part of what I need to talk about tonight too. You know, as Rachel and I talked about what we were going to do and how we were going to get through this, Rachel's first thing was, well, what's your grazing plan say? You know, and a grazing plan isn't something that we a lot of times put a whole lot of value in, but when you already got it written down, your grazing plan, what you're going to do, it's just a matter of where you're going to do it and how. It's already telling you this is what you got to do. Follow the plan, stick to the plan. And the plan for us always is, you know, when all else fails, put them on the sacrifice area and feed hay and start calculating how many of them you really need, how many of them you need to keep, and how many of them can you afford to keep. I guess that also factors in. We don't take that into account. We have to do that with the hogs all the time. How many of them can we afford to keep? And this is no different here. We just got to figure out how many we can afford. I guess the second thought today is right about where them cows are stepping into. You can see the ironweed gets a lot thicker. We spread manure on that section of that field, and it's amazing how much thicker it is. It's like double or triple as thick as it is right here. And actually it's so thick that they're not eating a bunch of it. I'm gonna have to next rotation fence it off as a different paddock, I'm afraid, to get them to graze it, because it's going to be older and ranker and tougher because it's so thick up there. I watched a video today from the Soil Carbon Cowboys about are you a giver or are you a taker? And here we try to be givers. We've been takers for a long time, but we try to be givers, and that's just where we spread manure back on. And I fielded a bunch of calls today from producers who, well, I need to rejuvenate my hay fields, I need to do this and I need to do that, and you know, I know what they're doing. They're all just looking for something to do because it's dry, and how do we do it? And unfortunately, some of those producers did not think about that when the times were good, and now the times are bad, we're thinking about it. Where we have tried to continually plan for this. We knew this was going to happen. I mean, this ain't even as bad as we were expecting. And I hate to say it, but Dad always said 1987 was dry, and 1988 was terrible. And this just may be the precursor to it. You know, we may be even worse next year. I don't know. We'll see. I have fielded questions about hay fields, how to make them better, pasture fields, how to make them better. Can I spread fertilizer right now? And the answer to all that is it don't matter if it don't rain. If it don't rain, we can do all the things we want to. I mean, I've got an order in for sorghum Sudan grass, or at least prices. If we get a rain and we know we're going to get some more rain, then we may plant some. If not, we back that up with rye, and we could plant some of that. But if we don't get no rain, it don't matter. We're doing the best that we can. Don't let a drought or a wet year, I mean, wet years are just almost as bad, get you by surprise. Have it figured out and know what you're going to do. And I just thought, you know, I've thought and talked to you guys about, you know, planting some more warm season grasses. And I just had a thought, you know, how do I insulate the herd just a little bit more by having a class of livestock that I can sell and reduce the herd. I don't know that I'm ever going to do that. It's a very difficult and sticky situation to do, because in our business you lose customers if you don't have beef to sell them. So you want that beef to sell them, but this is kind of a good thing this year that we can go ahead and pull off half of these calves, and we can reduce our need even further. It would hurt if it was cows. It could be cows. It would hurt, but it could be. Quite honestly, if I had the heifers or the cows where I wanted them to be, I don't know, and they had already calved, I don't know that I would think twice. I would think twice, but I wouldn't think a third time about pulling cows with calves and selling cow-calf pairs and just letting these heifers grow up and be mamas in the future, rather than selling half the feeders that I'm going to have to sell, or at least sell half the feeders. You know, always keep that in mind. We do this with the hogs, we do it with the cows too. We know who our bottom percentage is. I've got them all listed and I may not have it written down with the cow herd, but with the hogs especially, I've got them all listed as top A number 1 and down to 0. And if times get tough, we start working up the list until it hurts. So just prepare yourself for that. Keep praying for rain. With that, I'll say, see you next time.